Don't fry bread the old way anymore, because by simply adding milk, eggs, and a little sweet potato, you can immediately have a dish that is soft, fragrant, lightly rich, and much more appealing. What makes this recipe special is that it is not complicated, the ingredients are very familiar, yet when finished, it looks beautiful and tastes like something that took a lot of effort to prepare. If you are looking for a new way to make breakfast from ingredients already in your kitchen, then this dish is definitely worth trying. First, I prepare 3 slices of bread. For this dish, soft bread or bread that has been left for a day can both be used, because we will soften the bread with milk. I tear or break the bread into small pieces and put them into a bowl. Which beautiful country are you watching this video from? Please leave me a comment and let me know. Next, I pour about 150 milliliters of milk into the bowl. Make sure to pour it evenly over the bread so every piece can absorb the milk. Then I let it sit for a short while. It doesn't need to be long, just a moment is enough for the bread to begin softening. At this point, you will see the bread gradually absorbing the milk, the surface no longer dry like at the beginning but becoming soft, moist, and much easier to mash. When the bread is soft enough, I use a fork to gently mash it right in the bowl. Just mash slowly, and while mashing, lightly stir so the bread on top and at the bottom absorbs evenly together. You do not need to mash it too finely like flour. This dish is delicious because the mixture still keeps the natural softness of the bread. Just mash until the bread breaks apart, no longer in large pieces, and combines with the milk into a moist, soft mixture with a moderate smooth texture. Next, I prepare 2 eggs. At this step, we will separate the yolks and the whites so that later the dish will look more beautiful and the process will be neater. I crack each egg very gently, then carefully separate the yolk first. I place both yolks into 2 small bowls and set them aside, making sure to keep them intact without breaking them. These yolks will later be placed on top of the bread after we flip it, so keeping the yolks whole will make the finished dish look much more attractive. After separating both eggs, I pour all the egg whites into the bowl of bread soaked in milk. When the egg whites are added to the bowl of bread and milk, you can think of this as the part that helps the mixture bind together better. Now I season the bowl with a little salt and some pepper. Season lightly, because this is meant to be a gentle and easy to eat dish. I am very happy to meet everyone from all around the world. Remember to leave me a comment. After that, I take about half of a sweet potato, peel it clean, and grate it into thin shreds. The sweet potato in this dish not only adds natural sweetness but also gives the bread a soft, slightly nutty texture that is very pleasant to eat, especially for breakfast. I add the shredded sweet potato into the bowl. Next is a handful of fresh green onions that have been washed clean and finely chopped. The green onions will make the dish more fragrant, fresher in color, and much more appealing. After adding everything into the bowl, I mix it well so the bread, milk, egg whites, sweet potato, and green onions combine into an even mixture. Have you subscribed to my channel yet? If not, please press the subscribe button. Your support is a great source of motivation for me to keep trying every day. When the mixture is ready, I place a pan on the stove and add a little vegetable oil. Just enough to prevent sticking and help the surface turn beautifully golden. There's no need for too much oil. When the pan is moderately hot, I add the mixture into the pan. At this point, you can shape it into a small cake with moderate thickness. Don't spread it too thin, because this dish needs to keep its softness inside. After putting it into the pan, I use a spoon or ladle to gently smooth the surface so it looks neat, cooks evenly, and has a nicer shape. I let the cake cook for about 2 minutes over medium to slightly low heat. During this time, the bottom will begin to firm up, turn lightly golden, and release a very pleasant aroma from the bread, eggs, and green onions. Do not keep the heat too high, because if the heat is too strong, the outside will brown quickly while the inside hasn't warmed through evenly yet. This dish is delicious because it cooks slowly, stays soft, and does not become dry. When the bottom has set, I gently flip the cake over. You just need to move slowly, because at this point the cake has already held together thanks to the egg whites and softened bread, so it is not too difficult to flip. After flipping to the other side, this is when we place the egg yolks that we set aside earlier on top of the cake. Try to adjust it so the cake can hold the yolks in place nicely. I place the yolks very gently so they keep their beautiful shape. Then I sprinkle a small pinch of salt directly over the yolks to enhance the flavor. Next, I cover the pan and lower the heat to low. Let it cook like this for about 2 to 3 minutes. This step is very important, because the heat inside the pan will help the cake cook more softly, while the yolks on top will gradually cook to the right doneness. If you prefer the yolks a little softer, cook for about 2 minutes. If you prefer them more set, you can leave it closer to 3 minutes. This method is very gentle, does not require many steps, yet the finished dish looks beautiful and tastes very good. When you open the lid, you will see that the surface of the cake is cooked, and the egg yolks sit neatly on top, looking very appealing. At this point, you just need to gently transfer the cake onto a plate and we already have a dish that is both simple and warm. The bottom is soft and fragrant from the milk-soaked bread, combined with the naturally sweet, slightly nutty flavor of the sweet potato, the gentle aroma of green onions, and the richness of the eggs. This dish is very pleasant for breakfast, and it also works perfectly as a light meal during the day. What I like about this recipe is that the ingredients are very familiar, the method is not complicated, yet the finished result feels like a dish that has been carefully prepared. Especially if you still have a few slices of bread and a little sweet potato at home, you can absolutely try it right away without any complicated preparation. Thank you for taking the time to watch. If you find this method simple and interesting, please press like, share, and subscribe to Merry Home. I would also love to know where you are. Do people there usually prefer savory bread like this, or do they prefer a sweeter style? See you again in the next videos.